love, with the NFL. It seems like we're going to get that. But is it at a cost? What is the cost? What is the level of concern? What is the level of danger? What's worst case scenario? These are things that you have to put in place when you're trying to make these decisions. These are things that you have to talk about that you may not want to talk about. We're not in football hasn't started yet. But the Big Ten and the Pac-12 felt, and right now, this is what they have to do. So they're looking at possibly playing spring ball. We don't know if that's going to happen, but at least for right now, what we do know is that there will be no Big Ten football. There will be no Pac-12 football for the fall season. And it's disappointing, especially me being a Michigan fan, Big Ten fan. But I guarantee you right now, maybe everybody except for even the MAC, shut down. But maybe it's just the Big 12. But SEC, ACC are having these discussions. You do not want to have something devastating happen on your watch. So I'm disappointed. I'm not surprised, but I am disappointed. That this is happening because it affects a lot of people, family members, the actual students and everything. These are times that, you're going to lose. Hopefully, they roll them over to the next year, but you never know what the future holds. So it is, it's a tough situation. It's a tough situation. That the Big Ten and the Pac-12, I think, had to make, and they wanted to make what was in the best interest. Now, I say that, to really roll into this thing with Nebraska. And it's not just Nebraska. It is other schools, but I'm bringing up Nebraska because they made a comment actually about playing football. And Nick Saban has spoken about this. Dabo Swinney has spoke about this. Coach Orgeron has spoke about this. So it's not just Coach Frost. So I don't want anyone thinking that I'm just jumping all over Coach Frost in this situation. But Nebraska wants to play. Nebraska is part of the Big Ten. And the Pac-12, Big 12 just said that they will be, they would welcome Nebraska back because that's where they came from when they went to the Big Ten, but they would welcome them back with open arms if they wanted to come back. No surprise there. But here's one of the things that Scott Frost, the Nebraska head coach, was saying about this season coming up. He said, if we send kids home, they're going to be in closer contact with a lot of family members and other people that might be at higher risk for coronavirus than if we keep them here in an environment where they're around other healthy young people. Now, this is according to Mark Schlereth of ESPN, which was a conversation he was having with Coach Frost on Monday. Then he goes on to say, if I had a son, I would want him playing football. The safest environment we can put these guys in is an environment where they're being monitored constantly, being screened, being tested, being taken care of, and being protected if they do get sick. Now, I brought up Nick Saban. And Nick Saban also, had made comments, and he was saying this whole running around at home, which I got, what Nick Saban is saying. He didn't mean it literally like they're just going to be out there just running crazy, but it's kind of along the same lines as what Scott Frost, was talking about. Here's the thing. And I want to point out something that he said in this discussion, Scott Frost, that I thought was important. And it'll lead into, how I feel about this. He said, I'm passionate about this. Is Scott Frost, coach of Nebraska. I'm passionate about this because our guys want to play. I'm proud of who they are and the decisions they've made. I think it's our responsibility to make sure they respect this virus I'm not a doctor and I don't understand a lot of these things. The medical experts that we're leaning on are the ones that are guiding our decisions. So the biggest thing is I'm not a doctor and I don't understand a lot of these things. And that they are leaning on their medical experts. I'm trying to figure out what are your medical experts saying that differs from what other medical experts are saying. How far apart are those two medical experts? And then I use this just kind of as an analogy. You know, they took all that power of when players should play and all that stuff out of the coach's hand because the coach is not a doctor, but also, they took it out of the players, hand as well because you have to protect them from themselves. And sometimes you may have to protect players and coaches from themselves. This is what they do. This is what you have to understand about football players and college, or not college, but football coaches in general, not just college. It's at every level. They preach and they practice what they preach, and conquering challenges, overcoming fears, being, what's the word? Being a leader, being making an example. This is all the stuff that, encompasses a football player. You cannot be scared and be a football player. So I get why they say, why they're making these comments, why they want to play football. But sometimes you have to protect people from themselves. And maybe I'm missing something because I no way do I proclaim myself a expert on everything, but can't the players still go to school? Can't they still be on campus? Can't they still be submitted to those tests and just not play football? And here's the other thing. You're talking about what you guys are doing. You're not playing a scrimmage every Saturday. We just saw, and we're going to talk about, baseball as well, but we just saw the Marlins, professional players, still not follow protocol, not follow the rules. And you got double-digit cases of people having COVID-19. And I hate to say it, but I'm just going to be honest. You over here talking about the season hasn't even started yet. You can't predict what the season is going to be. You can't think that the season is going to be preseason. You got their kids. You got kids and look, I did some stupid stuff when I was a kid, and I mean some dangerous stuff, and just not thinking. There is going to be a party thrown on that campus. There is going to be, or off the campus or whatever, there's going to be something. There will be some student athletes that will sneak off to one of these parties. You'll be crazy to think that every college institution, all the kids are just going to, follow protocol. That's what I'm trying to, figure out, is that you can't control what the other team does. So, yeah, you may have it together at Nebraska. You may have it together at Alabama and all that, but you got to go play somebody else. And so you play maybe another school in your conference. Maybe they don't have it the way that they should. Maybe they don't do it the way that they should. And you're going to roll 60, 70 kids out there to play football for 2.5 hours. And maybe that's all you need. You play a game, it get transferred. Now it is in your home. So it's a lot of stuff just out there. Trust me, again, I want football. But at what cost? That is the question. So again, how far apart are these doctors or these medical experts that they're speaking about from one school to the other? What is being said? And Wait a Minute Show chat room said, Galloway says, these schools ain't trying to have these, and he put in quotations, student athletes on campus and not playing a sport. That ain't bringing no money in for the school. And that's what I'm confused about. You're still on scholarship. Your scholarship won't allow you still to go to class. We're not talking about you not going to class because you just don't feel like it. Or, I'm not going to class, but you're not playing football because you don't feel like it. There's a pandemic going on. There are unnormal dangers. And then here's the other thing. If there's a sport that I'm missing, let me know and I'll apologize. But every sport has been impacted. Golf has canceled matches. Golf has pushed back matches. Golf has not allowed fans to come to the game. And golf ain't no contact between the players, and all that. But baseball had to push back and try and figure something out. Basketball, we know they went to a bubble. MMA, WWE, no fans. Everything has been impacted. UFC. So how do you figure that you're just going to roll in here and, our doctor said, we're good to go and all that stuff and everybody's going to be safe. I just think that's a tad bit naive. Just a tad. That everybody else has had to do something in relations to this virus. But we got it. Because unless you're going to do a bubble like the NBA, which I think is probably close to impossible for college football, because you still have the athletes. Maybe they're doing, online, school, and that keeps them away from the other students. But we are talking about kids. Some of them are going to do something dangerous or, silly or whatever. So I'm hoping, if they are going to continue, if SEC, ACC, and the Big 12 continue with their season, I pray nothing happens. I hope nothing happens. Please don't let anything happen. Because you know how bad that would look? You know how bad that would look that if you got other conferences that are canceling their season due to this thing, and then you get 20, 25 kids rolling around with that. It's a tough decision, I know. But I'm just wondering, what is the information? Last thing I'll say, and then we'll go to break. In the Wait a Minute Show chat room said, Jelani, you telling me you don't believe the ACC head doctors when they say it'll be safe to play this season? Why would they have any type of bias in this situation? I just think, as far as safe to play, what is safe to play? Because if it was safe to play, then we really wouldn't be having this discussion. It would be, hey, business as usual, everybody get out there. But that's not it. There are, precautions that you have to take. So what is safe to play